Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 27th of September, comes to you from London. The dollar's jumped up overnight on the back of that Federal Reserve rate decision, US interest rates moving higher, and perhaps more importantly, the guidance that there'll probably be another rate rise this year. So we are seeing these targets that have been on the short-term chart for a while, 3 and 4%, still in train. We've got a 7% and 8% target on the medium-term chart. But the long-term chart was still devoid of some activated upside targets. We've got some very big ones, but we've still got work to do to make new highs, and we've got downside targets hanging over us. But all in all, dollar is still medium-term bullish and short-term bullish. Looking at the euro, we see euro weakening against the dollar off the back of that dollar strength, and some downside targets there as well. But it's a mixed picture. Again, euro just hitting resistance there. Against the yen, the dollar is stronger, but the yen actually just strengthening, so even stronger than the dollar. The dollar is strong against most currencies, but the yen is actually just strengthening against the dollar right now. And we see here on the long-term chart, the dollar yen is dollar strength really playing through. On the weekly chart in the pound, we're seeing how we're holding resistance here on the dollar, but medium and short term, we're still bearish on that stronger dollar. Sterling not looking quite as good. Against the euro, sterling actually looking a little bit better this morning, and against the Swiss franc looking stronger as well on the short term chart. And against the Australian dollar, we're seeing also sterling looking a bit stronger. Bitcoin continues to fall, bearish on the short and medium term charts. The US stock markets last night, the last hour of closing, we see this candle here. We really did just fall away off the back of that Fed decision. Markets took it in their stride to begin with, but there was a late sell-off. Same for the Nasdaq and for the Dow Jones as well. Looking at the Russell 2000 index, we see here the fall away just showing through there too. The futures this morning, the S&P future down very slightly and in bearish territory. The Nasdaq E-mini actually little change, so hard to call which way the US markets will open. European markets are following the close of the US a bit lower. The UK market just holding its short-term strength, but not gaining anything this morning. The mid-cap selling off a bit more strongly, down 1/3%. The DAX in Germany down 3/4%, so still bearish medium term and just struggling to hold the gains there on the short term chart. The CAC Quarante actually holding on quite well, down 1/3%, but still looking stronger versus the German market. The Japanese market actually down about 1% on that stronger yen against the dollar this morning, and the Hang Seng down 0.5%, and China down 2/3%. So the recent move in the Chinese markets actually just now starting to retrace some of its strength. The Sensex lower in the Indian market, and the Aussie market actually fairly flat. Looking at crude oil, we're still managing to hold these higher levels. We're at 82.30 this morning, so pushing higher. We've got targets to 83.60, 94.03, mid 80s, so it looks like crude will push higher. WTI, similar picture, pushing higher there as well. US nat gas just back below the $3 levels at $2.97, just taking it back into bearish territory on the short-term chart. Taking a look at gold, gold just falling back on that stronger dollar as well at 11.95, just putting it back into bearish territory. And the same with silver, just sitting there as well. US 10-year yields falling back quite sharply after yesterday's decision, back to 3.04%, so just retracing some of the early moves. And consequently, German bond prices looking a bit stronger this morning. Just looking at the tech stocks, Apple still struggling to get back above the cloud there. Amazon also now looking a little bit better above the cloud. Alphabet, Google also just getting above the cloud, and Facebook recovering back into the mid 160s, so looking better there. And Microsoft still holding around this 114 level. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.